Right. So here are the 5 things that I learned from my experience in university. So I think the first thing is that just because someone's being nice to you, that doesn't mean that they like you, okay? Human basic decency doesn't have to be met always with romantic interest. Sometimes people are just being nice for the sake of being nice. Just because someone liked your Instagram story, that doesn't mean that you have to think about the wedding dates or what's the children's name whatsoever. It's just an Instagram like, okay? It doesn't mean anything, okay? So try not to be so solulu dolulu to that area, you know? Sometimes we as human beings, even I was, you know, sometimes we conflate the idea of being nice with being special. The way how they treat you is like how they treat anyone else. Number 2, longevity means nothing in a relationship. Doesn't matter if it's a 14-year relationship, 15 months, 6 weeks or something. If tomorrow they decided or you decided to end the relationship and to not contact one another forever till death, it's possible. I think that in some way taught us to be more appreciative of the relationship we have right now. That forces us to not take anything for granted because we don't know if tomorrow or next week the relationship will come to an end and that will be the last time we see each other. That could be, you know. 3 years and it's not something to be brag about, because if something is coming to an end, it comes to an end, and fair to say there's not much you can protest about it. Number 3 is no one's more busy than someone they're not interested in. This is a fine line to distinguish if someone is really busy, that you have to give them benefit of the doubt of being busy, or someone just copying out. Trust your intuition or gut feeling about this. I think people heard the phrase of if they wanted to they would, and I'm someone who believes in that statement. I know it's a controversial statement, some believe, some don't, but I believe in it. I had a friend who from Putrajaya came all the way to Kota Kemuning just to have a 30-minute lunch, and then he go back to Putrajaya. So I'm like, wow, the length that he actually went to just to have dinner or lunch with me. I think that if he wanted to, he would. Yeah, he would. If he wanted to, he would have come all the way there to here just to meet me. So number 4 is that truth doesn't always win. I'm a big believer in a relationship that you always to tell the truth, or at least don't lie. That there's nothing hidden under the carpet. There's no resentment that's being built. Everything's been straightforward. Everything's been bare laid on the table, right? I hope it works like that, but in a relationship doesn't work like that. You know, people say like, oh, just tell me the truth, I can accept it, and then you tell them the truth and then they get it. Human beings, alright? Human beings. So again, like I said, I think truth is something that you kind of have to meddle with. Sometimes it's better not to tell. Yeah, I know how much you think you're right, and I know how much you think this is gonna improve the relationship and so forth, but for the sake of you two, just don't. I'm not saying that don't tell the truth at all. I'm saying that there are certain truths that may be a bit hard for the other person to accept it, because how you say and how they might understand it might be completely different, even if your intention are pure. And so what I've started to learn in a relationship is that there is something truth that needs to be told. I kind of hold it back for a while. And the last one I would say is that sometimes it's just not meant to be. It's neither's fault, right? Circumstances happens, fate of life, differences of time, culture, and so forth. And we are so quick to point the blame. That's her fault, that's his fault, and so forth. But sometimes you forget, you know, things just happen out of neutrality. You know, my friend texted me the other day saying that you must have learned a lot from being in a relationship, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Which is what I think is the correct approach. I think when you're in a relationship, you learn a lot about yourself more than the other person, and you learn more about the nature of human beings. But the question that I often peg myself is, at what cost do I learn those lessons? So yeah. Dun, 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 dun.